Welcome to the ePageCity Basic Text Formatting tutorial. In this video, I'll be showing you how to add content to a text editor. In addition to the basic text editor, like we see here within the flexible content section of a basic page, you'll find the same editor present within several other content bands on your website, as well as within sections such as the blog or calendar, staff listing, or other custom components your website might have. These text editors will look and operate in the exact same way throughout all of those sections. If you've ever used Microsoft Word or any other word processor, many of these icons featured within the editor probably look familiar to you, but if you're ever unsure of what any of these features are, you can simply hover over each to see an indication of what they are. Now, first and foremost, when you're viewing the editor, if you don't see two rows of icons like we see here, maybe you only see one, you'll just want to make sure you've got both expanded so you can see all of them. And you can do so with this far right icon labeled Toolbar Toggle. So I'll just click that to expand that second row of features. Now, what I want to do is go ahead and add some placeholder text for us to use in this example. Now, this isn't something you'll need to do if you're simply typing into the editor down here. But if you are going to be copying and pasting text from other sources, whether that's another website or maybe a Word doc, you'll always want to make sure to paste as plain text. And you can find that particular icon or feature in the second row. Looks like a little clipboard with a T. So we'll select that. Now we can see that that's pressed. And now anytime we paste text into the editor here, it's going to strip out any coding or formatting that might be on that text that we're bringing in. So I'll open up a document here. And so within this document, you can see there's all sorts of formatting on it. We've got heading treatments, there's bolded text, there's highlighted text. We've even got some links down here. This is all considered special formatting or coding. And anytime you're copying and pasting text into your site, it may not always be compatible with the website. So you'll always want to make sure that you're stripping any of that out. And that is what pasting as plain text does. It's just going to remove these links, this highlighting, this bolded text. It's just going to remove all that special formatting and just give us the plain text. So again, I'll just copy and paste. And now we can see we're working with a clean slate here, and all of that text is just plain. We don't see any of those headings or bolded text, any of that. And so from here, we can just start making simple formatting changes to this text. So I'll just clean some of this up a little bit, and we'll go through what most of these features are and what they do. So whenever you're making changes, you'll typically just want to highlight the area that you want to adjust. In this case, I'm going to highlight this website's built to last text. So we've got some pretty standard features here: bold, italic. You've got the option to include bulleted or numbered lists. We've got a block quote, which is just going to add the string of text slightly indented. We've also got some text alignment features, so you can choose to include text that is left aligned, center aligned, or right aligned. You'll notice a insert read more tag. You can ignore this. This is specifically for blog posts only. So if you want to learn more about how to add and edit blog posts, you can find the blog post tutorial on the ePageCity training site. You'll also notice a full screen option. If you want to utilize the editor in a distraction-free full screen view, you can choose to select this icon here. Again, we've got that toolbar toggle to expand and close that secondary row of features. You've got a strike-through option, horizontal line option, which is exactly what it sounds like, just adds a big horizontal line. You've also got a clear formatting button, which will, again, strip out any formatting that might be on text. So in the event that maybe you didn't paste as plain text and there is still some funky formatting in the text, you can always highlight that specific text and select the clear formatting button to strip that out. You've also got a special characters icon, which will allow you to select from a menu any other icons that can't be found on a normal keyboard. So things like a copyright symbol or registered symbol. You've also got decrease and increase indentation icons, which again, just add a simple indentation among the text. And then you've also got undo and redo buttons for some quick abilities to either do the same thing you just did or to remove whatever you just did. So I'm going to go ahead and also add some heading treatments in here. And you'll find those in this first big drop-down menu here within the editor. If we open that up, you'll see a few different options here. Now, heading treatments are basically stylized text that is based on your site's approved design. So these are typically somewhat larger in size and a different color than your normal body copy, which is usually around an 18-point, just black font. And so we suggest using these, as their name would indicate, as headings, or in other words, as the short phrase or sentence that highlights the beginning of a particular section or paragraph of your content. So keep in mind, heading 1 should only ever be used for a page title. This should be used if you choose to turn off the default page title. You can find some more information on that in the content bands tutorial on the training site, but just keep in mind that's only for the actual page title. In this case, I just want to use the heading 2 for that first heading we see here. I'm also going to add a heading 2 on this one here. So again, I'll highlight, choose heading 2 from the menu, and then I've got another one down here, and I'll add heading 3 on this one. So we do recommend that you kind of use these in ascending order. Heading 2 should be reserved for things that maybe you want to draw a bit more attention to, or things that are more important, whereas a heading 3 or even a heading 4 might be for a section that's maybe a little less important, or a subsection within a section. So just something to keep in mind when adding your heading treatments. We do recommend also using 1 through 4. Headings 5 and 6 are pretty small, so we tend to avoid using those. I'm also going to change this to a bulleted list just so that it looks a little bit prettier. So now we can see we've got a few heading treatments in here. I've got our bulleted list. Now we can also walk through how to actually add hyperlinks. There's a few different link types, and each one is a little bit different, so we'll walk through those so that you know exactly how to add them. And you'll always want to start out the same way when adding a link. So you'll just highlight whatever text you want to appear as a clickable link. In this case, I want to point this to our contact page. So that's considered an internal page or another page of our website. So again, I'll just highlight, and then in the top row of icons, I'll look for this little chain link that's called Insert Edit Link. And once I select that, it's going to open up this little box for us here where we can either paste in, or in this case, since it's another page of our website, we can actually just start typing the name of the page that we're looking for. And so I want to point to our contact page, so I start typing, and a little menu auto-populates with that. So I'll select it, and now we can see that it's auto-populated that field with the full URL, and all we have to do now is simply hit apply. And now we can see that that's a clickable link. The same applies for external links. Again, we'll just highlight, click the chain link. In this case, since this is an external website, we'll always want to have those open up in a new tab, just so that we're not taking people away from your website. And so the way that you can do that is we'll select this little gear, link options, and that'll open up a new menu for us that includes 2 fields. We see the URL field and the link text field. So in this case, URL is exactly what it sounds like, whatever the external website is that we want to point this link to. So in this case, I'll send it to Google. And then the link text is just the text itself that will appear as a link. So in this case, I just want to leave that as Google. And then again, since this is an external website, we'll always want to have it open up in a new tab. So we'll just simply check off this open link in a new tab box and hit add link. And now we can see that one's a link as well. And the next one we have is a link to a document. So in this case, I want to point this link to maybe say a brochure, a Word doc that we have. So I'll highlight. And since this is considered a document, that is considered a piece of media. So instead of that chain link, we'll want to select this big Add Media button here. Now what that'll do is open up our media library. So again, we can see everything that's already been uploaded to the site, and we can choose anything that's in here currently, or if we don't have any documents in there, we can always choose to upload a new file here with the upload files link. But I'll just go ahead and use this example doc we have in here already. And as you can see, you can tell the difference between images and documents very easily, because the documents will always have this little overlay with the title on it. So I'll select that, and then in the bottom right corner, I'll just hit the Insert into Page button. Now, you can see that what it did was automatically change that link text to the title of the document. That may not be what you want, so you can always go back and change that really easily. You can do so simply by clicking the link and then choosing the pencil edit icon, and then also the gear link options. And it'll open up that menu we just saw earlier on the external link. So again, from here, we can see it's already got the URL of the document in there, so we don't need to touch that. But then if we want to change that link text, we can do so here. So I'll just change this to brochure. And then just like we saw with the external links, we'll always want to have documents open up in a new tab as well. So we'll check that open link in a new tab box off and hit update. And now we can see it's a link and it changed back to brochure. And then the last link version we have is to an email address. This one's really simple. We'll highlight and in this case, again, go back to the chain link. And now we can see that it recognizes it as an email address. So what it does is it automatically adds mail to : in front of that email address, as you can see right there. And we can simply hit apply. And now that's a clickable link. And once we select that, that'll open up whatever email client you happen to be using with a blank email addressed to epagecity.com. Now, similarly, you can also, if you don't actually want to type out the email address, you can actually just add in the mail to : email address manually. So in this case, let's just say email ePageCity. I want the ePageCity to be the link. I'll click insert edit link here. And then in this case, again, I'll just have to manually type in mail to, without any spaces, : info at epagecity.com, and then hit apply. And then same idea, once we select that link, it'll open up a new email in whatever email client we happen to be using, addressed to info at epagecity. So if we hit update over here on the right side, we can take a look at the front end and see all those changes we just made to our text. Again, we can go up to the top and we'll see that view page link here. And then now we can see we've got all of our formatted text. So we've got a couple of heading treatments, we've got our bulleted list, and we've got all our different link types here. So if we click on contact page, that should take us to the contact page, again, in the same tab as well. If we jump back, this Google link should open up in a new tab for us, which it does. The brochure will download our document here. So we can see towards the bottom of my screen here, you can see that that Word doc downloaded. Next up, we've got the link to the email address, which should open up in Outlook for me. So it opened up on a different screen here, but you can see if I drag it over, we've got a blank email addressed to info at epagecity.com. And then same idea with this other email link as well. So again, we've got a blank email addressed to info at epagecity. One other thing you can do within the editor as well is add imagery among text. So if we click the edit link again here up top, I'll show you how to do that. And so there are a number of other content bands specifically for images, but if there is a situation where maybe those aren't ideal or you just simply don't want to use that, you can also add images within the editor here. And that's really simple. You can kind of just place your cursor in the general area where you want that image to appear. You can always move it around once it's in there, but in this case, I'm going to add my cursor over here. So I want that image to appear in between this heading and this little paragraph here. So once I do that, I'll select Add Media. And again, that's going to open up my library for me, where I can pull in anything that's either already been uploaded, or I can choose to upload a new image as well. But I'll just use one of these existing ones for example's sake. So I'll select it. And again, in the bottom right corner, choose Insert into Page. And now we can see that that placed that image there. And again, from here, we have a number of different things we can do. We can select it and change the alignment with these little icons here. There's also an edit link here. If we select that, that'll open up some options regarding the image itself, where we can, again, choose the alignment from this section here. But more importantly, there's some sizing options here if you ever want to play around with the size of the image here. So you've got a few predetermined sizes, thumbnail, medium, and the actual default file size. The other option you have is a custom size, which will allow you to just manually choose the dimensions here. You can also optionally choose to have a link attached to the image as well, if you want, with this little link to menu here. So from here, let's say I wanted to send this particular image to our contact page, I can simply type in the full URL of our contact page here, or any other external link. This can go to an internal or an external page. But in this case, I'll just set it to none. I'll leave the dimensions at about 300 by 200, and then just click update. And then again, if you did ever want to move that around, you can simply click it and drag it around to the desired space. And if you did want to delete it, you can simply click it and choose the little X remove option here. And that's basic text formatting using the editor. If you have any additional questions or concerns with editing your site, you're welcome to reach out to us directly at 312-291-2200, and a customer service representative will be happy to help you. Otherwise, if you need additional tutorials, you can find those elsewhere on the ePageCity training site. Thank you.